From a fitness tracker nobody wanted to a phone that burned over $7 billion, Microsoft has released a ton of products that became absolute disasters. And today, I'm listing down the worst of them. By October 2016, Microsoft quietly discontinued a product they had launched just 2 years earlier. They stopped selling it and wiped it completely from their product lineup. Basically, pretended it never existed. The Microsoft band. Here's what happened. In October 2014, Fitbit was dominating, and Apple was about to release the Apple Watch. Microsoft saw the wearable gold rush and jumped in with the band, packing it with 10 sensors that tracked everything from heart rate to UV exposure. While Apple Watch aimed for elegance and Fitbit kept things simple, Microsoft's design was a chunky rectangle that looked like industrial equipment strapped to your wrist. And the problems started immediately. The battery died in 2 days. The clasp broke and you couldn't read the screen in sunlight. Worst of all, it was so uncomfortable during sleep that people took it off at night, defeating the entire point of sleep tracking. They tried again with Band 2 in October 2015, fixing some issues, but creating new ones. By then, the market had moved on, as Apple Watch was gaining momentum and Garmin dominated serious fitness users. Some tech analysts believe Microsoft spent hundreds of millions developing and marketing the band before discontinuing it. In 2009, MSN Messenger controlled instant messaging with 330 million active users worldwide. The little green running man icon, the nudge feature, custom emoticons. This was Microsoft's crown jewel. For millions of people, MSN Messenger was how you stayed connected after school, how you asked your crush out, how you knew who was online. Then, Microsoft destroyed it through pure negligence. Because while MSN stayed the same, smartphones exploded. WhatsApp revolutionized mobile messaging, and people now wanted to message from their phones. But MSN Messenger's mobile app was clunky, slow, and drained batteries. So, Microsoft bought Skype for $8.5 billion in 2011 and forced MSN users to migrate. This killed the product, as Skype was built for video calls, not quick messaging. Features people loved vanished overnight, and the interface became bloated and slow. By 2013, Microsoft shut down MSN Messenger and users abandoned ship immediately. Today, WhatsApp has over 2 billion users. Facebook Messenger has 1.3 billion, while Skype has pretty much retired. Microsoft took a service with 330 million users and destroyed it through complacency. And they were just getting started with bad decisions. Before we continue, a quick message from today's sponsor, Surfshark VPN. If you use the internet daily, whether for work, travel, or simply streaming, having a VPN has become essential. A VPN encrypts absolutely all your online activity, which means that your data, your browsing history, and even the apps you use stay private. And among all the options available, Surfshark is the one I personally trust because it focuses on both security and simplicity. One of the most useful things is the protection on public Wi-Fi networks. Airports, hotels, cafes, and co-working spaces are some of the easiest places for hackers to intercept your data. With Surfshark, everything you do is encrypted the moment you connect. So even on completely unsecured networks, your information remains safe. Another thing that people often underestimate is online price discrimination. Many websites change their prices depending on where they think you're located. Surfshark allows you to change your virtual location in seconds thanks to its large network of servers in more than 100 countries. This can save you money on flights, hotels, software subscriptions, and practically anything that varies by region. Surfshark also offers unlimited device connections with a single account. This means you can protect your phone, laptop, tablet, and even your family's devices without having to manage multiple subscriptions. It is one of the few VPNs that offers this. And beyond the VPN itself, Surfshark includes additional tools that genuinely increase your online security. Surfshark Alerts notifies you the moment your email or credit card information appears in a data breach. Surfshark Antivirus protects your devices with real-time threat detection. And Surfshark Search gives you a private ad-free search engine that keeps your searches completely anonymous. If you want to protect your data and have more control over your online experience, use the link in the description. This gives you extra 3 months on your plan, and you are covered by a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it with zero risk. Go to surfshark.com/byte or use code BYTE, B-Y-T-E, at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. A huge thanks to Surfshark for supporting the channel. Now, let's continue with the video. Cortana had everything going for her. Microsoft launched her in April 2014, named after the beloved AI from Halo. They integrated her into Windows 10, making her mandatory for millions of users. They spent billions on development over 9 years. So why did absolutely nobody use her? Because nobody asked for her. Microsoft forced Cortana into Windows 10 without giving people a choice. She popped up during setup, interrupting your workflow, asking to help when you didn't need help. The voice recognition was mediocre compared to Google, her responses felt robotic compared to Siri, and she couldn't control smart homes like Alexa. But the real killer was Microsoft tying Cortana to Windows computers when everyone used voice assistants on phones. By the time Microsoft brought Cortana to iOS and Android in 2015, she was already irrelevant. Amazon released Echo with Alexa in 2014, and Google Home launched in 2016. Both controlled lights, thermostats, locks, while Cortana could barely manage a calendar reminder. Microsoft pushed harder though. They made Cortana mandatory in Windows 10 setup. Users hated it, and online forums filled with tutorials on how to disable her. And they weren't just ignoring Cortana, they actively wanted her gone from their computers. By 2023, Microsoft admitted defeat and killed Cortana entirely. Today, Alexa dominates smart homes. Google Assistant leads Android, Siri controls Apple devices, and Cortana is a footnote. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, hit that subscribe button, because we're getting to the expensive failures. Twitch dominated game streaming, and Microsoft wanted in. In 2016, they launched Mixer, an interactive streaming platform with lower latency and features Twitch didn't have. Viewers could click buttons to affect gameplay in real time. It was genuinely innovative. But innovation doesn't matter if nobody's watching. By 2019, Mixer had barely made a dent in Twitch's dominance. Microsoft needed something big. August 2019, Microsoft shocked the gaming world. They'd signed Ninja, the biggest streamer on Twitch, to an exclusive Mixer deal. The rumored price was between $20 and $30 million. Then they signed Shroud for a similar amount, then King Gothalion, then Ewok. Microsoft was throwing money around like a drunk billionaire at a casino. But it didn't work. Ninja went from 40,000 average viewers on Twitch to around 10,000 on Mixer, while Shroud's numbers dropped even harder. Turns out, you can't force an audience to switch platforms just because you paid their favorite streamer, and Twitch viewers stayed on Twitch. Microsoft kept burning money as they promoted Mixer during Xbox events and gave streamers better revenue shares than Twitch, and yet nothing moved the needle. By mid-2020, Mixer had 3% of the streaming market. Twitch controlled 91%. On June 22, 2020, Microsoft announced they were shutting down Mixer. Just 4 years after launch, barely 1 year after the Ninja deal, the closure was immediate as Ninja and Shroud returned to Twitch. Ninja and Shroud had massive contracts and options, but the thousands of smaller streamers who'd committed to Mixer, they watched their audience and careers disappear overnight when Microsoft pulled the plug. The total losses were estimated to be over $500 million, but $500 million wasn't even Microsoft's most embarrassing product failure. The iPod was printing money for Apple. Everyone had white earbuds. iTunes controlled digital music. Microsoft looked at this and thought, we can do better. In 2006, they launched the Zune, their iPod killer, the device that would revolutionize portable music. It came in brown. Yes, brown. Because nothing says cool music player like the color of mud. That being said, the Zune actually had decent features. Wireless sharing let you send songs to nearby Zune users. The Zune marketplace offered unlimited music streaming years before Spotify, and the screen was bigger than the iPods. But the wireless sharing was crippled. You could send a song to a friend's Zune, but they could only play it 3 times over 3 days before it expired. This was Microsoft's brilliant solution to piracy concerns. And the ecosystem didn't exist because while the iPod worked seamlessly with iTunes, the Zune required software that was bloated, slow, and constantly crashed. It didn't help that the device was thick, clunky, and available in brown, beige, and pink. Microsoft made some changes and released the Zune HD in 2009 with a touchscreen, and critics praised it, but sales remained terrible. And the few people who bought Zunes loved them, but loving a product doesn't matter if nobody else is buying it. Because by 2007, the iPhone had launched, and now nobody wanted a device that only played music. Microsoft discontinued the Zune in October 2011 after 5 years, multiple models, and $289 million in losses. Ouch. The Zune became a punchline. Steve Jobs once said Microsoft didn't have the taste to make great products. Looking at that brown rectangle, he had a point. He wasn't wrong. 2003, Internet Explorer controlled 95% of the browser market. It was total domination. Microsoft had won the browser war against Netscape and now owned the internet, as the Internet Explorer came pre-installed on every Windows computer and developers built websites specifically for it. Then, they stopped updating it. Between 2001 and 2006, Microsoft barely touched Internet Explorer. IE6, which was released in 2001, remained virtually unchanged for 5 years. So, as the web evolved and websites got complex, EI6 couldn't keep up. The browser became a security nightmare as hackers exploited vulnerabilities daily. Viruses spread through IE like wildfire, forcing users to switch browsers as websites displayed warnings. This site doesn't work with Internet Explorer. To make things worse, Firefox launched in 2004 and grabbed 25% of the market. Then, Google Chrome appeared in 2008. Chrome was insanely fast. It sandboxed tabs for security, auto-updated in the background, and within 3 years, Chrome overtook Firefox. By 2012, Chrome had more users than Internet Explorer. Microsoft finally woke up and released IE7, IE8, IE9, trying to catch up. But it was too late. Developers hated Internet Explorer because a website that looked perfect in Chrome and Firefox would break in Internet Explorer. They had to write separate code just to fix the bugs, hours of extra work for one broken browser. The Internet Explorer brand became toxic. In 2019, Microsoft gave up and rebuilt Edge using Chromium, Google's engine. In June 2022, they officially retired Internet Explorer after 27 years, from 95% market share to complete obsolescence. Web developers who'd spent years fighting IE's bugs and quirks finally celebrated. Today, Chrome controls 71%, while Edge has 5%. Microsoft went from dominant to irrelevant in their own market. $7.6 billion for 3% market share. That's what Microsoft lost on Windows Phone. Let me explain how one of the richest companies on Earth fumbled this badly. In October 2010, Microsoft launched Windows Phone 7. The interface was bold with live tiles instead of app icons and bright colors. It was genuinely innovative, unlike anything on iOS or Android, and critics loved it. So, Microsoft went all in. They spent billions on development, launched massive marketing campaigns, and in 2014, they bought Nokia's phone division for $7.2 billion. But none of it mattered, because what killed Windows Phone was the app problem. iOS and Android had hundreds of thousands of apps, while Windows Phone had maybe 100,000 low-quality clones. And not all apps made it to Windows Phone, like Instagram, that didn't launch on there until 2013, 3 years after iOS, while Snapchat never came at all. Banks didn't support it, games ignored it, and what was the final nail in the coffin was Microsoft kept rebooting the platform. Windows Phone 7 devices couldn't upgrade to Windows Phone 8, and Windows Phone 8 devices got limited upgrades to Windows 10 Mobile. Each reset killed their tiny user base. Imagine buying a Windows Phone 7, defending it to your iPhone friends, only to find out a year later your phone can't upgrade to Windows Phone 8. You're stuck. Microsoft basically told early adopters, "Thanks for believing in us, now buy another phone." Soon enough, developers stopped building apps and carriers gave up stocking them. This accelerated the death spiral, and by 2016, Windows Phone market share collapsed to 0.4%. On October 8, 2017, Microsoft officially announced Windows 10 Mobile was dead. The dream of a third mobile ecosystem was over. $7.2 billion spent on Nokia became $7.6 billion written off in 2015. Microsoft entered too late, moved too slowly, and couldn't solve the app problem. Even with billions of dollars, they couldn't overcome the effects of iOS and Android. Microsoft is worth $2 trillion. They built Windows, Office, Azure. They're one of the most successful companies in history. But even Microsoft can't force markets to bend. My friends, even giants fail when they stop listening. Success isn't guaranteed just because you're successful yesterday. You earn it every single day by making things people actually want. On that note, if you're not subscribed yet, please hit that button. We've got more stories like this coming your way. Cheers.